Got two of us tonight, so why don't we make it work and make it count? Welcome to Wicked Crazy Pinfalls. Uh, I am the man himself, Throwback, with the exceptional and entertaining Aaron Entertainment of the AWO. So what's up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a two-man show today. For
I
now.
mean, it's okay if it's like that. It's a lot easier to do that, and it's kind of comforting for the most part because it's going back to the old style of the show back then. I mean, for me, it's more so like I love having all these people on all the time, but it's also nice to be like, like way you and me were on some of your stuff, or me and you and Rob. It's like one on one for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
Some of these prediction shows, like we did, go see Jeremy and Bob O'Neill's prediction show for All Out. That was hosted by Tad Predictable for the Triple Threat. We'll take a little absurd about that too to show you guys a little bit today. For me, at least, I think that is a big deal for that match. I think having that match is one of those things for me, at least, means a lot because it shows, especially what just recently happened, that everybody can support everybody, and even if things get the wrong way, it's still you could help each other out in certain ways. So we're not going to be sad if you, and I'll say this much, if you ever, especially coming from me, if you ever need help with anything, mental health, stress, or just need to talk or anything, reach out. I was watching Josh Robinson, who is a contributor to Love Wrestling and stuff like that. If you ever need to reach out to anybody, there's always somebody willing to listen, somebody who cares. And, even if it's just your best friend, they're there to listen to, your family and stuff like that. Yeah. Hell, look at Fightful's community itself. They helped me through everything with my mom. They've helped DK with a lot of stuff. There are people to listen, and there's a lot of people that can help you. So, don't hesitate to reach out with all of this stuff. I mean, mental health is very important, and that's why like a lot of people get off of certain platforms just to keep them sane. So, I mean, it's not all life's not always roses and sunshine. So, but eventually at the end, you got to figure a way to get through. And, unfortunately, stuff happens where it's out of our control, and, it's just one of those things that's important. So, I mean, it's helpful to know, hey, it's helpful to know that people are thriving. Hey, Thomas. People are thriving and getting better and doing better in their lives, but it's also you have to move forward and progress, and that's the difficult part. Is there any like difficult times you've had recently where you're just like, I can't get through this?
Sometimes through the pandemic, like nothing to do because sometimes we're locked down and we're like, oh, we do have to stay inside, and like, yeah, man, like especially during the pandemic. There's been times in the past, like years ago, I went through a major depression. I didn't want to like go to school, leave the house. I just wanted to stay in my room. This is like 15 years ago. It was like the worst depression I ever had, and it was bad. So I did like, eventually I got out of it. It took me about a year and a half. Yeah, it feels long, but eventually it's hard to deal with. But I did get out of it, and I did get better after it. So, yeah, life is about ups and downs, and what happened today with Daphne. It's sad to hear pass away. We knew that she had mental health problems. It's sad, and like Throwback says, always check on your friends, family, and see what they're going through, because you never know. If they may look good, but you really don't know.
It for me more so than anything, it's just stress with work, stress with other things, stress with life itself. I'm one of those people where we get and I don't mind talking about all this for a good chunk of the show. I mean, it's a key thing in life. Where I put the whole world on my shoulders, try to carry the weight of it, and I fall down on my my back all the time. I mean, look, I post stuff on Twitter and Facebook that I might have not should be, but I'm an emotional person. I'm a very sensitive person, and everybody's like, a guy that's yes, I am a sensitive guy. And it's for me, it's mostly important for people to understand this stuff, because if it's somebody like me that's gone through so much in their lives, then maybe somebody can understand. Like, I lost my mom to cancer, like I repeatedly say on the show, and I've seen in the past. And you know maybe somebody that's going through, somebody who has lung cancer that's on their stage 4, then they can turn around and move forward, and then just progress and get better, and then all of a sudden come back, and then just
Yeah.
return around and just be like, hey, this person understands, he went through this, I understand this, kind of thing. It's very difficult for people to understand things when they don't go through it. I mean, I know for a fact if somebody had, I don't know, had a different rare type of immune disease that, and I had no clue about it, and I said something about it and it set someone off, that could be it.
Yeah.
There's so many things that could trigger certain things, and
Yeah.
it's important to understand that. We need to also take a step back in a lot of stuff in life. But don't have people around you just taken back by you. Just step away from you. Just enjoy moments. I was talking this to Amanda the other day. I rather, in being 40, live in each moment as best as I can to the fullest capability I can, and not have to worry about what will be tomorrow. I'd rather live in the present. And a lot of people you'll read on social media, Twitter, whatever, and people say this: you shouldn't be living in the moment. Well, I hate to tell you, tomorrow's not given, and right now, like me and
Not
Aaron talking to
guaranteed.
you, is a moment that a lot of people could remember. Be like, hey, and it's archived too, because with digital media, it's literally going to be there.
Yeah.
So it's like us talking about this could possibly help somebody 20 years from now, and they stumble upon this, and they're like, what is this old thing called YouTube?
Yeah,
Or
probably 20
Twitch
years
or
from now,
whatever.
it's gonna be something
Yeah.
like more advanced than Twitch and YouTube.
I mean, it's for me, it's more so like,
Yeah.
if it helps somebody
Yeah.
else, it benefits them
Yeah.
more so me. So a lot of times where this, and I tell people this is like, I do this because it's dedicated to my mom stuff. This is a mental outlet for me. It's a creative outlet. The
Yeah.
tournament is a creative outlet. Look how many people have been doing promos and stuff like that. Look at Maggie cutting a promo last weekend. Look at Drew's promos, Pat Mason, stuff like that. The only person in this tournament has the two people that have not cut a promo on each other just because they respect each other, which we all respect each other. We're just very competitive, is you and Ron Patel. And for me, it was just more like, I'm a creative person, so if I'm not creating something or doing something creative, I kind of bottle stuff in. And a lot of times you need somebody to actually be a part of that. And
Yeah.
for me, it's just hopeful to go from there and see what happens.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to seeing what's next.
Yeah, guys. If, like you said, like he said, this is creative. Getting on YouTube helps me forget about my issues. That's why I do shows and create videos. I don't think about my problems. That's why this is an outlet, guys. If you have problems, do something that gets your mind off it. YouTube helps me. Other things help me, like video games, but YouTube helps me a lot. And especially talking with people on YouTube, since we can't always talk to people face to face because we're in different cities and wherever, it still helps.
Hell, like today, I got upset and down because I
Yeah.
asked my neurologist for the first time ever if it's the possibility of me actually going to shows and stuff, and he said no.
Oh,
In
really?
that moment, yeah, in that moment, it was
Uh,
depressing. It was sad. It was like,
yeah.
the one thing everybody can do, I can't, because of lights and stuff like that. And for me, though, it's like, it's an interesting thing. Like, I want to be able to, um, go to shows and do stuff with friends. I want to be able to go to All Out with you, Anakin, and um, Pluggo and Ray
Yeah.
when Ray's back. It can just, so much stuff, and I can't. It's like it's hard for me to go to these shows and stuff like that and hear about it. Like for me, it's difficult even more so when I'm trying to do everything and be productive as I can. So like being creative like this is a social outlet. Now, do I implore everybody to do this? Not everybody can. It's some people can do it, some people can't.
Just be
But
careful. Like
yeah,
that's all.
it's not that we're saying you shouldn't or you
Yeah.
won't.
We just want
It's
to be
just
prepared because YouTube. Well, for us, it's helping us. It can also be a dangerous place.
it can also be a place where people take advantage of certain people
Yes.
too.
Yeah.
And it's very rare that you find the community that we have from the Fightful community, and I see it as we're a branch of that a little bit because of the fact that the support that Fightful gave out through the show at the start and stuff. Like Sean and them just helping out and showing me ropes and all that stuff and doing certain things to like let me learn and grow, and I've learned a lot. But also we've been creating our own thing too, so it goes side and side. Like a good example, we're almost at 235 subscribers on the YouTube channel. The Wicked Crazy Crew TV's at about almost 25, which is great. The Facebook group is at 100. We're getting close to 15 views on Twitch, which for me, where we started this Twitch thing at bare minimum with nothing, and we're slowly growing it. It's not only to give you guys stuff to watch and good content, but for us also, it's a method to get our minds and our lives in straight order and have a clearer head about these things. And eventually what'll happen is that it'll get everything going, it'll get better, and eventually it does get better, So I don't know if the GNC wants to pop on here. I mean, between the things that happen with, that happened in the last 48 hours to stuff that could happen in the world within the next 2 years, there's always going to be someone wanting to listen, and there's always going to be someone there for you, regardless of who they are.
Yep.
They could be a guy my size, which is about, and I found out I lost 20 pounds, which is a guy that's 270 and 6 feet, or it could be somebody that's 5 feet and 100 pounds soaking wet, but somebody like that will listen to you no matter what. And that's what
Yep.
good family, friends, even a good community around you does it. I mean, for me, I've had a lot of struggles as of late, but I have people like Kevin hitting me up, a lot of good people. Sloan, I've known for years, Rob Wilkins, who's literally one of the greatest people in this community. And I'm very honest about that. And I say that all the time, and stuff. And, we just, unfortunately, I'm at work Zoom call. Oh, gosh. But at the end of everything, I mean, it's just, you got to keep pushing forward and keep going. And with that being said, for us, it's just going to be, something where it's going to be interesting from this point forward. And, we'll try to give you guys the best stuff to keep your mind busy and keep your mind off stuff in life. It helps. And I know Aaron doing 4 shows a week sometimes, it does help you with your stuff too, because like I'll pop in and I'll watch that stuff. I'll pop in on the Fightful stuff. And, I mean, those like a good example, the care packages for Sean, I thought I put a lot of thought into those stuff, and I had a lot of help for doing it and everything. And, it look how great Sean liked that stuff. It's like even the little things. Let's say what Ron Patel did. If Ron's listening, hey, dude, come on in. It'd be great to talk to you. it's just, him sending me stuff for my back and everything like that. I greatly appreciate all that stuff. It's just we help each other go through it. Like Tim needs help with something, we talk to each other. Um, it's just one thing after the other where everybody's there for each other, and that's what's more important. So, other than that, we'll get into the nitty gritty in a second. But any comments about or words, anything, Aaron, about this whole about mental health in general recently?
I think like right now, like around the world is struggle mental health because of the pandemic. I think it's really affected like the majority of the people in the world, and a lot of people had to go. A lot of people went to YouTube and Twitch just to get by, because it helps them with mental health. And like you said, it's not for everybody. You got to be prepared because not everybody's gonna like you on YouTube. There's gonna be some trolls, jerks out there, and you got to be able to take it. And you know what? Best I say this. I know some people say do it for them. Do the shows for you. Do it for you. Do it for you.
For me, when I first started, I thought the numbers were important because that's all you heard as
Yeah.
an outsider through it. The numbers. It's about the numbers. It's about the numbers. And it is to a point. I mean, and I looked at it the other day, and I was just like, wow, compared to where it was to be at the start of me doing this about over a year and 4-5 months ago. It feels like that time hasn't flown
You
that
started
quick.
in May or May?
May 26th of
Yeah,
2020. It's
like
insane.
a year or 4 months or something like that.
Yeah, it's insane. And it wasn't mainly for the pandemic, though. I just needed something to be creative. I need something to do instead of sitting
Yeah,
in a house all by myself at that time. And now it makes a huge difference. I mean, you know, it it's one of those things for me where it gives me a platform to talk about certain things about myself and be creative about it. Like if you guys know me outside of this whole thing and
hmm
talk to me outside of this like Aaron does, there are very few people in this community that know my real name. Very
yeah,
few. And if you're on my Facebook and stuff like that, or if you're in the Facebook group, you find out and then you realize, wow, that's just his name. It's not what he really goes by. Do I go through it all over around his social media and stuff? Yeah. Do I get called out that sometimes? Yes, and I look and every time I hear it. But at the end of the day, the people around you and the good people around you, it makes a difference. And I'm very
yes.
fortunate and very lucky to have really good people around me. And even inside the wrestling community, and like Aaron, people on the show that's always Sloan. I've known Sloan since high school, since we were in high school. Kevin, Tim Trevor, Ray Callahan, dude, we miss you, man, dearly. And if you're watching, if
Mm.
you're catching this, come back, man. We want to see you and see you smiling and stuff like that. And we're always here for you.
Hope you're doing
Like,
good, Ray.
and like Maggie and you know all these very awesome people, Drew, and we'll get to Drew in in a little bit
Yeah.
about his decision um and stuff. But it's also things like that make it better. And for me at least, I know at the end I have the people around me outside. I have the people that I talk to on a daily basis, weekly, or every day in the show chat. And then there's also people that see us and talk to us weekly.
Mm.
Or even if we're lucky, if we go on other platforms like Love Wrestling, do Fightful stuff, whatever we do, we'll have people who can talk to us and stuff and interact with us. And that's what's more important. So, what is he ripping off LeBron's gimmick now? Who are you talking to, DMGC?
True.
I have no clue. Um, Other
LeBron's
than
a
that,
gimmick.
I have no clue. Other than that, so we got Twitch going on right now, just like we always do.
Yeah.
So the thing about it is, you know, it's important for have you guys know that the Twitch stuff is there, and if you ever want to watch it, go check it out. We have past videos of that about the prediction shows on there and stuff, and Kismet, one episode, 1 or 2 episodes of Kismet that are on there. And it's sad to say that they are not doing shows right now. I don't know for how long and stuff. So, I mean, for the time being, we're focusing mostly on the tournament. So, and try to figure out other avenues we could do. But I think for now, just going forward, we're going to keep doing good things to give you guys stuff to watch. Rob Wilkins is probably going to be with us soon at some point tonight. So,
Awesome.
if he does it, then then I'm sorry for saying it now, but I'm excited about it. But other than that, we've got so much to do, so much to cover. We talked about mental health for about 20 minutes or so. So
Yeah.
Raw was decent. So
Yeah.
what is some points do you think that was pretty good?
I thought the triple threat match was very good. Drew McIntyre versus Sheamus versus Damian Priest. I thought it was a very good match. Damian Priest getting the win. Not pinning Sheamus, but surprisingly pinning Drew McIntyre. That's huge. I think they really like Damian Priest. I think he has a bright future, and I think they're high on him. They're definitely high on him. I think that's one of the best. I think that was a great match. What else is there on Raw?
I mean, what I got in watching the highlights, right? And I don't watch Raw that much for now because it's for me. It's like, okay, like I said in a super chat, it feels the majority of people, including me, have kind of tuned out on Raw because it's the same thing over and over again that WWE does. I want something that basically gives me a good story and has me gripped on stuff. Raw's not really doing that. Now, for me, and we'll talk about All Out because you're going to get your picks on it and we'll get mine and stuff. But it's more so, they're more so like a pay-per-view show rather than a weekly television show, whereas AEW is mostly a little bit of both. But if the shows I've watched, it feels more like they're more TV based rather than pay-per-view based, if that's correct, because you watch a lot of both of it. So
yes, I do. Yes, when AEW needs to go big, they'll go big on Dynamite. SmackDown tomorrow, like there's a title match for SmackDown, so we'll see.
And SmackDown did almost 3 million with Becky Lynch being in, so Anakin's going to pop in about 20. So basically, him and Rob will be here at the same time. But
awesome.
They got 3 million on SmackDown, but it looks like they're mostly focusing on the Fox side than anything, and that's wrong. Because
I think of the Becky Lynch, and they expected Brock Lesnar too. He never showed.
Yeah, but I think Brock will end up popping up at some point. Yeah. I mean, if anything, I mean that match that got leaked out for Crown Jewel is just. It's just it. If they're going to do anything, there is where you cash in on for E.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
going into like the last 2 pay-per-views of the year after Survivor Series.
It looks like it probably is going to be Roman and Brock at Crown Jewel, and we know for a fact it's going to be Goldberg and Lashley Crown Jewel because that story ain't over.
I would say Survivor Series would be Brock.
Okay, Survivor
Series? Because if Fightful is saying that, and I've been reading here and there about stuff that WrestleMania might be 2 nights this year, which works in the tournament's favor. I'm going to be selfish about that because then I could do 2 semifinal matches on the same on night 1 and do the final on night 2.
Santa time.
Oh yeah, it's going to be a really interesting time. And this actually for me helps me out for the tournament because it stretches it out a little bit. But and I'll talk to Tad about figuring out all these matches and stuff because things are heating up right now. We've got a bunch of matches coming up, and like JPJ versus Steven Jensen. We have Tank Bear Claw versus Lewis. Mr. Glenn versus I believe yourself. I have to double check on everything. So it's going to be fun times for the latter half of the year till we get to Mania next year, and then you never know. We might start something different and redo something and have something different. I mean, we try. I want to give you guys be creative as best as possible. Like I said, but speaking of being creative, our show is more creative than WWE is right now on Raw. So that is a hit. So,
Well,
but
I don't know what's going on because like on Raw, it looks like Rhea and Nikki Cross are probably a tag team now, and it looks like Nia Jax. I thought it was gonna be Alexa Bliss because like last week Alexa Bliss was challenging Charlotte Flair, and all of a sudden it's Nia Jax like going after Charlotte Flair because Alexa Bliss wasn't there on Raw, and I don't really like. I really don't want to see Nia and Charlotte because every time I see them in a match with each other, whether it was this past Monday or the past past years, they don't do well together, especially with Nia Jax. She, I don't know why she gets. Okay, we know why she gets special treatment, but we all know she's an injury prone and not injury prone, but she injures other wrestlers. Like seriously, oh, yeah. The script was thrown out because of.
and the thing is, I don't throw any scripts. I don't. And I'll be real
I don't do
about
scripts
this.
either.
And let's be real about this. When I first started doing the shows on this channel and doing the Wicked Crazy Pinfall show, it literally was like word for word. I would literally have like a whole side of this screen all open with Microsoft Word with he did this move, there's a transition to this.
And then I can't do that.
And it got to the point where I was like, okay, so why do I feel like I'm pigeonholing myself when you've talked to me, you've had conversations with me,
Yeah.
Aaron. I'm completely like, it did this. You're like, no, this isn't him. This is just what way we do it is exactly.
I don't do scripts at all because I'm look. I'm not like Sean Ross Sapp, Denise, those guys, those people that have to like analyze everything.
And it's not analyzing everything. It's just organization, and which is great.
I can't. I can't do it. I tried it before. I can't do it.
It's just for me. I
Authentic.
love how like it works with certain people, but for us, it's not going to work for everybody. That's why we are saying with YouTube, it's just, it's not for everybody. It's doing it a different way. It's not for everybody. I mean, but for me, I just don't go with scripts anymore. I don't do like all that stuff and analyze it because I have a personality where I overanalyze everything to death, and it's for someone to specifically said to me recently, I am a pain in the ass.
So that's why I'm not looking to be a writer for WWE.
If I was a writer for WWE, I would literally make sure the product was a lot better than it was. Let's just leave it.
We were last under Vince McMahon. I think I went last under Vince McMahon because he probably threw out everything I gave him for potential stories.
Yeah, I know, right?
But yeah, so the Charlotte and Nia Jax, they have no chemistry in the ring. That's definitely a shoot. Nia Jax, very well protected. Nia
shouldn't be as protective as she is, though. That's the problem.
I think it's Rock's cousin, Roman Reigns' cousin, family.
I think that's the other thing we should touch upon is that the next class has revealed that another branch of that family is going to be in NXT.
The brother of the Usos, right? Is he the brother of the Usos?
Yeah. It's a sad time in Wicked Crazy Pinfall HQ just because of the fact that NXT is not NXT. If anything is said, Vince and Pritchard are taking over that. That's kind of sad, man. It has me worrisome for NXT.
September 14.
Oh,
September
God.
14. I think it's the first day of the new NXT, if I'm correct. Maybe GMC could confirm me on that, but I think it is that day.
I think for me, it's now pulling me closer and closer towards AEW now, and it's sad. I mean, for me, like I said in that hot thread that I did on Twitter, I've been watching WWE stuff since I was 4. That's 36 years of watching it, since Saturday Night Main Event started. And my cousins put me in front of the chair, in front of it to not make me cry. But I've been watching it since. I've been hooked on it since. It's just, it's sad. Like there's a lot of the stuff that WWE does. I love the pay-per-views and stuff like that, what they do on SmackDown. But NXT for me was the bread and butter. And now that Vince is getting his hands on, I'm scared to death to see what happens on September 14th.
I'm a little, I'm a little worried too. I'm worried too because if he gets his hands on it, and him Pritchard, is it going to look like Raw? Raw. Is it going to be like Raw, or is it going to be like SmackDown? Like,
if it turns out to be more like Raw, Aaron,
yeah.
I'm mostly my wrestling intake mostly, and it's sad because I'll be looking around for stuff. It's probably going to be starting more AEW, which a lot of people on this channel would be all happy about, which is fine. Which would be more impact.
Yeah,
with more impact, and which I try to get some of the stuff from the impact streams on Twitch. And it's going to be just SmackDown on Friday nights and just watching highlights and stuff. And that's the real talk about all this stuff. Especially since like with how Raw is, I mean, they pulled Miz and Alexa right before the show starts and stuff like that. I mean, it's poorly written, it's poorly booked, and like I'm one of those fans that's been part of watching this product for a long time, where I want to be story driven. I don't want to sit there and be like, oh, we had Lashley versus Drew versus this. Oh, we're gonna have this same match again the following week, but yet Drew will win. And then it'll be like, I don't want 50-50 booking. I want something different. I want to be story driven, and I need something to keep me invested. And NXT was doing that.
Oh yeah, like, for a long time.
Even the UK, and they bring Kaylee Ray over, and they bring all these talent from the UK over now, and I'm invested in NXT, and then all of a sudden, the reports come out and stuff, and now I'm like, I'm deathly scared. It's literally the NXT brand that they have now is the NXT that everybody wanted, you know, everybody deserves. I mean, and that's the only reason why, other than wanting to go to concerts with Amanda, I wanted to be able to go out to wrestling shows. And let's be real, if you guys don't know, All Out next year, the show was there's a secret plan for all of us to meet up and go to All Out next year in Chicago. And now with me not being able to go to the show, I don't know how that's going to happen, because I can go to Chicago, but the day of the show, I'll probably be heading out. And, if being there for 4 days, it doesn't make any sense. If they move it to Brooklyn, at least we have a friend that's in Brooklyn, right? So it makes it a lot easier to understand. For me, I need to figure this albatross out, and for me to be able to go to shows, but that'll be another time and another conversation, because I will be doing a show about I'm going to be doing a live show Q&A about epilepsy and stuff, because I think it's time for people to ask questions and ask somebody who has that rather than reading about it. For anything, and I'll post that on the social media at a later date. It's important. It's very important that they keep NXT the same way it is, because a lot of the stories they have going now are interesting to me. Like the whole, LA Knight thinking he's the badass now and stuff. Cameron Grimes being the kind of pseudo $1 million champion and stuff. Yes. Like it, the whole Indy Hartwell kind of thing.
Dexter Loomis, like Redding.
Yeah. it like stuff.
I'm kind of looking forward to that.
Like, I think the last wrestling wedding I've seen was what was it? All the way back with AJ Lee and Daniel Bryan. I think that was the last one I watched. Yeah, the years ago. But in all seriousness, it's just I want something where it's driven and makes it sense. And NXT stories were being driven and making sense. So I mean, with the sad part of our NXT slowly dying out, What was your favorite NXT match? Non pay per view, not takeover, just regular
so like a
NXT
regular
match.
NXT. Oh my god, there's been a lot because NXT like it's been so good throughout the years. Oh my god, I can't think of any because there's a lot. I mean, there's. Let me think. I really don't know because there's a lot. I gotta think. What was yours?
It was just recently done. It was the Great American Bash, Cole and Lee. That was one that popped in my head.
Yep,
Um,
that's good.
you had like this bunch of not matches, but like promos and stuff like that with Shinsuke and a bunch of other great stuff. A lot of the good matches that happen over time. It's just, but to me, you know, Keith, the women's the early NXT where it had the four horsewomen going at each other before they got on main roster and doing all the success they had and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That was an interesting match. It keeps going and going and going, and I wish NXT would do something better than what they have in mind. I mean, when you're the guy who's now behind the creative aspect of says sleep is their competition, I'm pretty sure it's going to end up like Raw. So we're going to end with AEW. So we did a prediction show. We're going to show you guys a little bit of it. So figured, me and Aaron will pop out and stuff and have you guys see it. It was a fatal four-way for the distraction that happened. Fatal three, triple threat match with Rob O'Neill, Jeremy Lambert, the point guard, and also JJ, who's a supporter of our show, also being a part of it with our boy Ted. Take a listen.
With who could possibly be coming stateside, is it harsh to say I get a little bit disappointed because I'm shooting way too high in my dreams? Jeremy, have you also had that struggle where you're thinking maybe it's going to be someone else and then it transpires to be Satoshi? And no disrespect to Satoshi, I mean absolute legend there, but I expected something different.
I thought we were getting Tanahashi. Unfortunately, we're not getting Tanahashi. Left me very disappointed because I was hoping to see Tanahashi live. But it's going to be Kojima, and I think this plays into Kojima's favor because Moxley's going to be looking past them. He's going to be looking on to Tanahashi. He's going to be looking on to Cincinnati. They're going to be in Cincinnati on Wednesday. Kojima's going to catch him with a roll-up in this match, and and Kojima's going to get the victory.
Wow. Interesting stuff. Jon Moxley hasn't lost in quite a while. A roll-up certainly won't damage his reputation, and it is Jon Moxley, of course. I don't think even any pinfall would damage his reputation, and we've seen sort of news coming out recently that Tony Khan has big plans for Jon Moxley. He is one of the cornerstones, I think it's safe to say, of AEW. Bob, are you seeing something similar in terms of a shock victory for Kojima?
No, I think Moxley's going to take it. I think Kojima will come close a couple times, but it's hard to bet against Moxley because, like you said, he really doesn't lose very often.
He really doesn't, and just
so go check it out. It's on Twitch, and then Twitch.tv. Throwback 978. Yeah, Anakin's right. I have too many throwback things. But I mean, the 27 for YouTube I created this channel when I was 27 years old, and then the Twitch, obviously 978 is Massachusetts. So I mean, go check it out. Go check out the distraction and stuff like that. Jeremy and everybody there is always supportive and stuff, and Joe, and the people they have on there is always great too. So. Rob, are you on? Yeah. I gotta send that to Rob. But it's just go check out their stuff. They do amazing shows and stuff like that. What are your with All Out coming out soon? What are your expectations for that card?
I like the card. I'm not the only thing I don't like. I'm not big on the Big Show versus QT Marshall. Not because it's Big Show. Okay, Paul Ray. Because QT Marshall, like, it's just a generic wrestler. Like nobody, like, really. If you talk to anybody, really has like nobody cares about. I'd rather see Nick Myrtle wrestle Big Show. That is the big. It's the big guy with the big guy with the chest hair and the fluff and the lot of hair. You know that's the only thing I don't want to see. But I'd rather have Big Show wrestle somebody else. But I understand we're doing it because it's Show can't wrestle like as much. But I do like the card. I think I'm definitely interested in CM Punk to see what it's like against Darby Allin. Hey Rob,
What up? I was like, where'd I go?
I'm disappointed we're not gonna get Pac versus Andrade.
Yeah, that won't.
Because of visa issues. I'm disappointed in that. But that will happen. A match will happen once they get sorted out. My two matches, like I said, CM Punk, my two matches I'm looking forward to the most. I think the Lucha Bros versus the Young Bucks and Steel Cage. I'm very those two when they ever go at whatever kind of matches, they just put on a classic. And I'm not Omega and Christian. Look, I'm looking forward to that match, but it's not one of my most looking forward match. CM Punk, Darby Allin, Young Bucks versus Lucha, and I'm kind of looking forward to what other match? Miro and Kingston, because I think that match could be like a brutal match. Because I don't think Kingston's gonna. I think Kingston's gonna lose, but it's not gonna be by pin or a tap out. It's gonna be by passing out.
First off, before we continue, it's your boy Rob Wilkins. What's up, buddy?
Hey guys.
By the way, congratulations on beating me on predictions as always. You're 4 for 4 on that, man, against me.
No, I don't know. I really nothing to say. I just go with what my gut tells me. So, and I got a pretty big gut, so that goes a long way. No, thanks for having me. If you notice, I kind of keep going back and forth. I had the Minnesota Gophers game against Ohio State on the screen going.
Since when did they play on Thursdays? Has that always been common college football on Thursdays?
Usually there's like college football lately has started like a third. Well, technically they started last weekend or maybe even 2 weekends ago, but I know they kind of show like a bigger game like the Thursday before the NFL starts.
Oh yeah.
Because I know
They
next week.
it, yeah.
Yeah, because I know next week Cowboys and Buccaneers play, so they kind of just do this one. This one's kind of surprising that they went with Minnesota, but
against Ohio State.
Yeah.
Sorry, Rob. I don't think your team's going to win this game.
No, I don't either. I didn't. I actually predicted that Ohio State would cover the spread and they would cover the over. So right now, I'm not too sure about that, though. Miss defense is actually playing better than I thought they would. But no, anyway, thanks for having me. I know we're talking wrestling. I came in and I was really confused because I came in a few minutes ago. Did you have like a clip of Jeremy and Robert O'Neill?
Yeah.
And
yeah.
Okay. I was confused because I came in there and I'm like, what room am I in? I thought I was like in Fightful's room for a second. So I X'd out and then I sent you a text like, are you on?
We're taking over Fightful.
So while we continue, we'll talk about all that because Aaron was talking about it. But I wanted to ask you this: Bound for Glory, man. Dennis Farrell. You have any say the thing that the great guy Dennis Farrell, who is a good guy in itself. He is your opponent, though.
Oh yeah, for Bound for Glory.
Yeah.
Oh. I don't have anything good to say then about him yet. I'm a heel. No, I'm not. No, I've talked to him here and there, like through Fightful, but I don't. It's gonna be a good battle. I know he's gonna lose, but other than that, it's gonna be a good battle.
I haven't gotten Rob's opinion about the match with Drew that Drew lost. What do you think Drew should be doing after this? Do you think he should bow down, or and keep going, or do you think he should give up?
I think he should give us 2 weeks and quit.
Right to the point.
Yeah, no, it's just, it is what it is. The thing is you like when you do these picks, it's just you're not gonna get the title. Like, you can do what you want, but this damn title's come to me. And then down the road, like I said before, I'll defend it against who I want, when I want, and where I want.
Looks like we're going to Minnesota.
So, other than that, it is what it is. I wish everybody the best. What he wants to do is up to him.
All right. Well, we'll find out his decision at the top.
Yeah. I mean, basically, what he has to ask himself is this: is he okay knowing that he will never be the best? He will always be like a. Let's say this: you got like Kenny Omega, and then you got.
Michael Stunt.
Well, no, I'm not even going to go there. I'm just going to make up a name. You got like. Or no, let's just say anybody. Anybody. You're just not going to be on Kenny Omega's level. And I'm not saying I'm Kenny Omega. I'm actually better than Kenny Omega when it comes to this. Okay, I'm not. But I just need him to know that no matter what he does, he's just not going to be at my level. So whatever else he wants to do, that's fine. Just as long as he knows that and he's comfortable with that, I wish him all the best. And
Speaking of big nose camera right there, all in the dark.
It's the icon.
Well, yeah, I just got home from seeing Shang-Chi.
Briefly, how is it? Is it good?
How was she?
It's really good.
Okay.
My son said it was his second favorite Marvel movie behind Endgame.
Nice.
Wow. Good.
The fight scenes were dope, and the mid-credit scene has me asking questions.
He's
Like,
not gonna
not
spoil
even-
it. Don't worry. Anakin doesn't
I'm
do
not
that.
gonna
Okay.
spoil it, but there's just things that happen there, and things you see that were like, what happened? So very curious, but
Okay.
honestly, it was a good. It was
So
it was actually exactly what I needed because
it was worth the hype then.
yes. It was exactly what I needed to ever since, because I woke up today to the news about Daphne and I've had moments where it's been on my mind like since then, and there's been moments where I just start having tears in my eyes. Like I had him in the theater before the movie started. I had him in the parking lot of the theater, and it's one of the things where it's just like I need to be off of social for at least today. And I was like, okay, I really need the movie to like take my mind off of it, and thankfully it did that, and gave me laughs and stuff. But I don't know. Did you guys talk about Daphne yet?
Not
Yeah,
really.
we already
We kind of talked about mental
our
health.
mental health
We
stuff,
talk-
but
Okay.
yeah.
Just not.
But instead of talking about stuff like this, positive things will be positive stuff. I figure everybody's already upset as it is with everything and sad and stuff. So why not talk about the one thing that person probably wanted? Because I don't know. We don't know Daphne from a hole in the wall. We don't know her personality in real life. So I mean, why not talk about something, the passion they had, which is wrestling, and that's something
I just
positive.
wanted to say something like really about it. Like I never watched her when she was in WCW or TNA, but I knew of her because Matt Fowler at IGN used to do the wrestling wrap up, and she was one of his favorite wrestlers, and he would bring her up a lot in the wrap up, and so people who read the wrap up, we knew who Daphne was. We knew, what she looked like and what she was about. And when he finally was able to meet her at a convention and get a picture, like everybody was really stoked. And so my memories of Daphne are more not really like I've seen some of the stuff that she's done, but my memories are really tied to that wrap up and stuff. But just and the fact that it was just it was a thing where I was checking Twitter all last night while at work, seeing if there was an update, and just I'm sure you guys said this, but it completely bears them repeating. If there is anybody out there that is having thoughts like that, like call the suicide hotline, talk to somebody, It's there's no shame in doing that.
So let's do a positive thing since Anakin's here and everything else. All Out, Rob. What are you looking forward to the most?
Dude, this whole pay-per-view I'm excited for. The thing is whenever AEW has a pay-per-view, you get excited. As far as like particular match, I think CM Punk for me. I mean, I've watched. I could honestly say, compared to most people, I've watched CM Punk his whole career because pretty much at the beginning of his career, I went to some of the Minnesota independent shows that he wrestled at. Some just small shows at the St. Paul Armory. I've watched him for almost 20 years, like you take 7 of those years off. I'm excited for him. I'm glad he's back. He's just I think that's going to be the biggest thing. We want to see what he does with Darby Allin. By no means, I don't think he's going to go over. I don't think he wins. I think he's all about. I'm not saying he'll never win matches, but he's really big about he's there to put others over. He's done his thing. He's said that in interviews. And I'm excited for him. Otherwise, the Miro versus Eddie Kingston's probably up there for me. And I don't know what the Young Bucks and the Lucha Brothers have planned, but I know it's going to just be ridiculous, and I'm anxious for that. That's the thing. Every match looks good. I mean,
except QT and Big Show. That's the match that's not appealing to me. To me, that match is not appealing.
Well, the thing is there's a lot riding on that. If the fans do not chant Tall Paul, everything that's ever been worked for has just gone right down the drain. I mean, you might as well. I'm telling you right now,
it's not the Big Show. It's
if we do not get Tall Paul chants going,
we're
all out.
Sean will probably start the chant.
It's just me. It's just me. Like it's just QT Marshall, right? Like QT Marshall. Like it's not the Big Show. Like, I want to see Big Show in the ring. Let's see what we can do. But to me, QT Marshall, I think you all agree with me. It's just a generic heel. Like there's nothing. There's nothing about him.
I will say though, with the twist last night with the Gun Club, I think there's a little more interest because it's going to be like, are they going to get involved at all?
I would actually Billy Gunn versus the Big Show because Billy Gunn has personality.
Yeah, I don't really know what the hell that was about. That was weird.
Well, here's a mistake. Every time when a face has a bunch of allies, and when the main face is at the ropes and a bunch of allies are behind them with a steel chair, there's a betrayal happening.
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah, and the one thing I'll say is it took a little too long last night.
It did.
They made it way too obvious. But that they did the same. I'm not saying that the shot at AEW. The WWE did the same with Roman and Ambrose.
The Shield, yeah.
Yeah, so it was just one of those things where you couldn't really help it because they got to get their lines in place and stuff like that. But yeah, it was interesting. But no, there's just so many good matches. The women's Casino Battle Royal, I'm looking forward to for multiple reasons.
It would be so as a Joker, everybody calling it.
Yeah,
everybody's been calling it, Aaron.
Yeah,
you're far from the first.
So I'd be so bright.
So I want to end this because we got a couple of things. We're going to end it a little early because decision time for Drew is upon us. I'm excited for this. I'm highly excited for it. It has me seriously contemplating about paying for it on Sunday. If I don't, then I will be watching the watch-alongs and stuff very, very closely. I have been a Punk fan for a long time, since the ECW stuff he did all the way up till like when he left WWE, and I was one of those people thinking, he eventually will come back, somehow. But
I had the same feeling too. He was going to eventually come back to wrestling.
but I'm more excited than ever as a wrestling fan because, like I've been saying, it's a wind of change. We've been needing something like this because we've been fed the same. It's like eating pizza during Lent every Friday night. You're eating cheese pizza every Friday night. Eventually, you'll get sick of eating pizza. It's the same thing we're dealing with WWE right now. Sadly to say, they can't say it specifically. So it's 8:55. So we're gonna end the show here with us four. So I'm gonna give these guys their plugs and stuff, and then I'm gonna have Drew make his decision that the King of All Worlds asked him to, and then next week, and I'll put Drew's decision on Twitter also, and I want you guys thoughts on that in the chat while that's happening, if that's okay. First off, Aaron, tell them where they can find you.
Well, you can find me in my channel. It's not Aaron Entertainment anymore. It's the AWO Aaron World Order. I changed it, rebranded, made it more. You know what? I wanted to rebrand it to make it more appealing because Aaron Entertainment is kind of, I guess, it's basic to me. It's really basic. I've been doing videos.
But it was original. Now you're going by an Aaron World Order. It's like, oh, you're just copying the NWO.
I'm taking over YouTube.
Good luck with that.
I know.
Google might have an issue with that.
I'll go to Google's offices and take over. They're a bunch of nerds. They can't deal with us.
He got a crap ton of money though.
All right.
So I do videos and you upload videos and blah blah blah. You know the drill.
All right. You can follow me at Rob Wilkins every Tuesday and Wednesday night. I cover AEW Dynamite or NXT. And this weekend I'll probably be on the All Out Watch Along. As Anakin stated earlier about, just basically if you need help, definitely there's always anybody you can talk to. But if there's somebody you need to talk to like right away, just call 1-800-273-TALK or 8255. So 800-273-8255. Otherwise, even if you don't know me, you can send me a DM. I'll talk to you. If you need help, you can I guarantee you any of these four guys, these other three guys, you can talk to as well. They'd be more than happy to talk to you. Other than that, just take care of yourself and to rest in peace, Daphne.
Yeah. What about you, Anakin?
You can find me on Twitter down there-ish at AnikinJMT. 2 p.m. this Saturday, Mr. Warren Hayes Discord. We are doing a stage event, giving our all-out predictions and our thoughts on the card and stuff. So that should be a fun time. So come and hang out and join us, and you can actually come and speak and give your thoughts on each individual match on the card as we talk about it. And you can also find me there on the Discord, chilling, talking, wrestling, other things. Good times.
It's decision time. So we're going to start off with Maggie's promo from last week just to lead into it because that way we can just keep the connection between the two. So here's Maggie. Thank you, Maggie, for your time. If you need anything, reach out to us. We're always here. I'm not going to go through the whole promotion stuff. You could find me at Throwback 978 every day. You could find me no matter what. If you're on the Facebook group, I'm not that hard to find really. But do a good deed, pay it forward. These guys will be in the chat talking about this, and this is Drew's decision. So Maggie, you can take the lead.
Drew. Okay, first of all, I'm gonna need you to take these fucking glasses off. Because you look exactly like this one dude I used to have casual sex with. And believe me, I have no trouble ending you. Just like I ended that relationship. Wholeheartedly. And second of all, It looks as though the universe wasn't quite ready for that Clash of the Champions match we would have had. Apparently so weren't you, because you lost. You fucked up. And you know what? I get it. I can be a bit intimidating. I got in your head. Deep down you knew you weren't ready for this. But here's the thing. If I ever get to win this title, I'm coming for your ass. And I'm gonna need you to put your shit together. Otherwise, I'm gonna job you out, boy. Until then, Queen Bee out.
I had to be quiet on social media, on YouTube. I had to force myself to be silent because the King of all worlds decided that he was going to take advantage of me. No. Okay. King of all worlds, I acknowledge you. You won fair and square. You are the head of the table. Congratulations. Now that shit's out of the way, let me let you all in on a little something. Doesn't matter where you are in line. I'm still better than you. You still suck. And you especially suck if you didn't come to my defense when I needed you the most. Patrick Mason, me and you, crown jewel in October. I'm not going to come to your defense anymore. I'm not going to be nice anymore. Oh, and Maggie, don't think I forgot about that little ambush. And it's funny because last week, you looked like a guy I used to have casual sex with. Jock type and stupid. I lost on a technicality. But really, I was screwed. And not as good as the guy I just mentioned. Please come for me if you happen to win the crazy title first. But remember what Throwback said. I'm third in line. That means that you're behind me. So get your blue chew ready, because one of us is going to need it, and it's not me. Ladies and gentlemen, Two Belts Drew is dead. And that belt and everything that that belt represents is garbage. Because I only bow down to one true champion. See you soon.